You see, there is pride we take when we assist another, when we intervene to save, to assist, to carry someone above water as they struggle. It is noble, a sense that we are doing something worthwhile, something important. But life teaches us that there is a thin line that separates helping another from drowning yourself in the act. I have learned, sometimes the hard way, that if you give too much of yourself, if you sacrifice your well-being for someone else's struggles, you risk losing yourself completely. There is nothing bad about caring, about reaching out, or about offering help, but there is a point at which you must stop and look at yourself and say, am I still standing or am I sinking too? We exist in a culture that celebrates selflessness, that rewards those who suffer silently while they bear others' loads. But being selfless does not and should not equate to being careless with your own life, your own mind, your own heart. There is power in knowing your boundaries, a power that is confused as selfishness, to know that you can't do everything, that you can't save everybody, is not a flaw, it is intelligence. With every attempt to save someone who doesn't want to be saved, we jeopardize our own stability. We stand to lose our peace, our joy, and even our sense of mission. And often, ironically, our rescue can keep the other person from learning what he or she needs to learn in order to grow. I've known individuals who asked everything of everyone else and never gave anything back. And I've been there myself, standing in turbulent waters, attempting to buoy someone up when I myself was fighting to stay afloat. It's tiring, draining, and at times devastating. You can't bear the burden of another person's existence on your shoulders forever. You are mortal. You have boundaries. Your energy, your health, and your well-being are valuable, and they must be safeguarded. It is when we embrace this reality that we can start to assist in a sustainable and authentic manner. Knowing your boundaries is also clarity, the difference between support and sacrificing yourself. Support is inspiring. It is providing a hand, a word, or a shoulder without losing yourself. Self-sacrifice, however, is giving so much of yourself that you lose yourself in the needs of someone else and forget who you are, what you deserve, and what keeps you sane. Muniba is teaching that it should never come at the expense of your mental, emotional, or physical well-being. There's beauty in serving others and remaining whole, in loving without losing yourself, in being present without getting lost. That is where genuine compassion begins. In 2025, I want you to know that caring doesn't equate to drowning. It equates to knowing your limits, knowing when to get in and when to get out. It equates to loving and doing so much without getting caught up in the other person's tempest. When you understand your boundaries, you guard your life, your peace, and your capacity to keep on giving in a significant manner. Only when you are strong, complete, and rooted can your assistance be redemptive. Anything less than that is not ministry, it is self-sabotage. So, if you keep trying to rescue someone, stop for a second. Breathe deeply. Ask yourself whether you're still standing or if you're drowning too. Remember that your life counts just as much as theirs. Your energy, your peace, your happiness are not extras. Setting boundaries is not abandoning someone. It is liberating yourself to survive, to flourish, and to assist in a manner that makes a real difference. Because you can't pour from an empty vessel, and the world needs you full, alive, and whole. Occasionally, the most difficult truth to hear is that support has limitations. Muniba reminds us that loving somebody doesn't involve shouldering their load forever. There is a distinction between being there for someone and losing yourself while doing so. When you give up your own happiness to repair someone else's life, you can become drained, resentful, and even broken-hearted. Actual support enables others without draining you. This is the key to recognizing the difference. Assisting another should empower them and not allow dependency or deter them from learning their own lessons. Muniba insists that your assistance works best when it is delivered from an imbalance of balance and strength. By remaining aware of when to intervene and when to back off, you retain your integrity while still providing helpful assistance. Assistance must construct, not destruct, you as well as the individual whom you are attempting to rescue. Honoring this distinction safeguards your energy, your health, and your peace of mind. It shows you that establishing boundaries is not selfish, it's required. Only once you hold your own boundaries in reverence can you be a genuinely positive force in another person's life. It's about giving without losing yourself, leading without manipulating, and loving without suffocating. Releases from things that are not in your control are one of the toughest lessons, but also one of the most freeing. Muniba reminds us time and again that not all struggles can be fixed for others. Individuals have to face their own dilemmas, make their own errors, and learn their own lessons. Regardless of how much you may wish to assist, there are some fights that are theirs to have, and attempting to step in may at times cause more damage than good. Recognizing this reality is not abandoning someone. It is maintaining respect for their path while safeguarding your own. There's a myth that caring is control of results. But true love and support are about showing up, not owning. Muniba makes it clear that letting go does not indicate that you no longer care or wish well for the other person. It just means recognizing that their development and decisions are theirs to own. In some instances, the best way to support someone is to allow them to meet the challenges of life head-on with strength and responsibility. When you let go of trying to solve everything, you gain back your own peace and energy. You no longer bear burdens that never belonged to you, and you make room to give life to your own. Letting go is a choice. It is choosing to take care of yourself yet still give love in a healthy, sustainable fashion. It's a lesson in balance, in wisdom, and in understanding that you cannot control the world, only how you respond to it. In 2025, remember that your presence matters, but your well-being matters more. Accept that some struggles are unchangeable by your hands and that releasing control does not mean losing care. By releasing, you give yourself permission to keep expanding, as well as giving others the opportunity to expand in the ways they must, even if not the way you might have preferred. Showing care for your own well-being is not selfishness. It is self-respect and survival. Muniba's instruction is that your happiness, well-being, and stability must come first, because you cannot serve anyone else well if you are broken, burned out, or buried under stress. When you prioritize others above you to the extent of ignoring your own needs, you may suffer emotional burnout, stress, and even resentment. Prioritizing your own wellness guarantees that your support is based on a place of strength and not depletion. Self-care is the cornerstone of sustainable care. It's all about setting boundaries, respecting your limits, and allowing yourself to rest without apology. Muniba reinforces that taking care of yourself enables you to show up more whole for others without sacrificing yourself in the process. When you're rooted, emotionally balanced, and mentally resilient, the care and love you provide become more authentic, effective, and life-changing. In 2025, make your well-being non-negotiable. Take care of your body, care for your mind, and guard your emotional well-being. Be around positives, be balanced, and keep in mind that your happiness is crucial. It is only when you are complete and strong that you can really care for others without losing your own life, peace, or aspirations. Your life is just as valuable as anybody else's, and acknowledging that reality is something that's both required and empowering. Finally, one of the strongest things you can do to serve others is by leading by example in boundaries and self-respect. Muniba reminds us sometimes the best thing you can do to teach someone is not rescue them, but teach them how to live their own life. By prioritizing your own well-being and refusing to sacrifice yourself for someone else's struggles, you demonstrate strength, resilience, and accountability. This example often inspires others more than words ever could. When you set boundaries, you're not driving people away. You're showing them that their choices and their growth are their responsibility. It's a way of being like, I love you, but I am not responsible for what is yours to bear. Muniba notes that this will foster independence and autonomy in others and safeguard your own energy and peace as well. Your boundaries make a healthy environment for yourself and the people that you love. By focusing on yourself and showing that self-care is essential, you model courage, dignity, and wisdom. Others learn that it is possible to be compassionate without losing oneself, to love without drowning, and to support without enabling dependency. Your actions become a guide, teaching resilience and responsibility through example rather than control. In 2025, don't forget that inspiring others is not always about saving them. Sometimes the greatest thing you can do for other people is to live your own life completely, establish healthy boundaries, and illustrate what it is to care without sacrificing yourself. When you do this, you make both yourself and those around you stronger, and that is a legacy greater than any sacrifice could ever hope to be.